This beautiful and pure girl possesses an extraordinary ability to keenly observe. In the subway, a teenager is stealing someone's mobile phone. Among the crowd, Ha-bin easily realizes it. The passenger asks someone to give her a call when her mobile phone is stolen. The phone stealer tries to turn it off, but the phone keeps ringing. At that time, Ha-bin plays the police siren with her phone in order to attract people's attention, which saves the situation. A day before, Ha-bin is still a normal girl. Her father is special. He's one of South Korea's top profilers. He can easily detect the suspect with a single glacé of the crime scene. One night, the anatomy of someone is found in the forest. The forensic expert says it's the anatomy of a student. However, this time, Tae-soo silently leaves without jumping to a conclusion after observing the crime scene. Returning home, he prepares dinner though he barely cooks. He also has a cake and candles. It's her daughter's birthday. Tae-soo divorced years ago and his ex passed away a while ago. For better care of his daughter, he moved into her house. At night, Tae-soo waits for Ha-bin in front of the center. But she doesn't appear. The teacher tells him Ha-bin stopped studying there 2 months ago. A while later, Tae-soo receives a call from the police station. His daughter had a fight with 2 students. Ha-bin silently stares at the officer's desk when he keeps reproaching her. Noticing the photos on table, she sees the officer with his daughter who learns Taekwondo. Ha-bin can read his mind. She tells him that her father told her to protect herself with action skill. That fits what the officer wants for his daughter. She's angling for his heart. Indeed, the officer is nicer to her. When Tae-soo arrives at the police station, the officer lets him know they found stolen phones in the hands of Ha-bin and the 2 runaway students. 3 of them strongly deny it. Tae-soo questions Ha-bin when he hears that they were caught in a motel. Why were you in such a place? Ha-bin doesn't answer him. She insists that she didn't steal them. With the instinct of a profiler, Tae-soo knows she's lying as she purses her lips. Due to such a small sign, he raises a doubt of his own daughter. When they come home, Tae-soo asks her to enjoy dinner that he prepared. Yet, she opens the fridge and has salad. He's sorry for being absent in her life for the past years. By the way, he promises to spend more time with her. Before he finishes his words, Ha-bin claims she doesn't need his care. Tae-soo strictly asks her why she is around with runaway kids and why she didn't tell him that she no longer studied at the center. Ha-bin doesn't answer him. She repeats that she doesn't need his affected care. Tae-soo feels hurt by her attitude. Even though, he still gets off work early to spend time for her every night. One night, Tae-soo hears the vibration in her backpack. She's holding a phone at that time. Combined with the incident at the police station, Tae-soo began to doubt that his daughter really took the phone of others. So that he opens her backpack without her approval. Indeed, there's a mobile phone which isn't her. Ha-bin answers him she's temporarily keeping her friend's phone. Yet, she refuses to tell her friend's name. On the other hand, she can prove his doubt against her. Tae-soo doesn't yield. He demands her to let him see the phone owner or else he won't return the phone. Checking on the phone, Tae-soo realizes all the data was deleted. In the evening, he asks his friend to dig into the phone owner. He doesn't know that Ha-bin is hearing it behind the door. In dark when her father is sleeping sound, Ha-bin sneaks into his room to steal the phone. At that time, a message pops up. Someone requires the phone owner to call back immediately. The following morning, Tae-soo sees Ha-bin hurriedly carries a suitcase out. He follows after her. He reckons that the runaway kids seduce her to leave home. Ha-bin says she's going on an MT held by her school. Tae-soo drives her to the school. She observes all of her facial expressions. Ha-bin is smiling at first. She purses her lip like she did at the police station. Soon afterwards, his friend sends him the CCTV footage of the subway. Watching the video, he learns that Ha-bin didn't steal the phone. Tae-soo forces a laugh when he misunderstands his daughter. Ha-bin doesn't reply his message during her MT. Tae-soo walks around the house with anxiety. He tries to understand what Ha-bin is thinking. When he's stressful, he imagines his ex, who can read his mind. Although Tae-soo is an excellent profiler who can read the criminals' minds in a moment, he can't tell what his daughter is thinking. The following morning, the police receives a report of a murder. A house in the wood is the crime scene. A pool of blood is found. It's human blood. The forensic experts concludes that the victim was lost. The thing is that the body disappears. Tae-soo begs his senior to let's solve the case. In fact, his senior was about to transfer Tae-soo to the headquarters. Tae-soo refused such a good chance for his career to spend time with his daughter. He decided to keep his work in the local region. Tae-soo carefully observes the crime scene. He tries not to miss even a small clue as always. He has a strange dream at night, in which his daughter is entering such a dangerous warehouse. Waking up at night, Tae-soo wants to apologize to Ha-bin for doubting her. Nevertheless, he decides not to send the message. In the dark, Tae-soo gets back to the warehouse for further clues if any. There, he shares his refer to a profile who newly works for the police station. Tae-soo argues that the culprit destroyed the body, which left a pool of blood. However, the warehouse isn't the first crime scene. The body disappeared might be due to unexpected situation when the culprit was handling it, therefore, he failed his initial plan. Moreover, the blood in the crime scene won't be enough to accuse the culprit. That means he knows about criminal investigation very well. He must ruin the car he drove. Because he left his fingerprint in the car, which is enough to identify him. Based on Tae-soo's analysis, the police begins to search for the car. Indeed, they find a burnt car in the forest. According to the investigation, the car smashed into the tree and the driver was thrown out of the car. The teacher tells Tae-soo that Ha-bin didn't go on the MT. Tae-soo also finds out that Ha-bin got back the phone. On the daytime when he was in the forest, Tae-soo received a message from his friend. It's the last position of the phone. He was surprised at the location. It's the forest where he was in, so that he felt anxious. To make it clear, he compares his blood with the one found in the warehouse. The test result says it doesn't match. He sighs with relief as the victim isn't Ha-bin. After that, he receives a news that his daughter was involved in an accident. When he goes to the hospital, Ha-bin is sitting on the bed with calm. Tae-soo recalls the phone in the forest. He raises a doubt. The one who isn't there during the time of the crime is the victim or the culprit. As Ha-bin isn't the victim, Tae-soo has no choice but to doubt her. More seriously, Tae-soo comes up with a hypothesis. Was the accident set up to cover something? In fact, Tae-soo is right about the accident. Last night, Ha-bin stood at an intersection. She purposely walked on the street to get hit. It was for covering some traces on her body. The day before that, the police found a burnt scar. It seemed to collided with someone. Linking it to the accident off Ha-bin, Tae-soo is more suspicious of his daughter. Ha-bin's injury isn't severe. Tae-soo takes her home after she is discharged from the hospital. At that time, a news sent from the police station. They've found the one who rent the car which was burnt. That is a young girl. Tae-soo realizes that she wore the same outfit as Ha-bin on the same day. Aside from that, the police has the list of outgoing calls, including the phone numbers located near the crime scene. Tae-soo is shocked when Ha-bin's phone number is on the list. A red thread is found at the crime scene. It's believed to come from the culprit's clothes or belonging. The next day when Ha-bin is at school, Tae-soo gets off work early and comes to Ha-bin's room. He notices that she puts a small piece of iron in the edge of the door. It's for knowing if someone enters her room. Regardless of her prevention, he still enters her room. He's finding for anything made of red fabric. And he finds nothing suspicious. By the way, he finds one of her drawers is locked. At that time, Ha-bin is coming to her room. Reaching her room door, the piece of iron is still there. However, the needle she put in the other edge is on the floor. She knows for sure that he entered her room when she is absent. ATF that time, he notices the thing hung on her backpack. It's a charm made from red wool. Tae-soo seems to lose control. He rushes to question her. In the end, he hesitates and lets go of the door knob. His hesitation derives from a misfortune in the past. He had a son. Years ago, Ha-bin and her brother curiously went to the forest. The kids didn't return home when it was late. The police found Ha-bin in the forest. Her white skirt was bloody, and her brother's body was found at the bottom of the cliffs. He was Tae-soo's son. Following the traces, Tae-soo thought Ha-bin harmed her own brother. He kept inquiring his little daughter with indignation. When they were struggling, something fell on Ha-bin's head. His wife came and hugged Ha-bin, who was scared. She claimed in tears that she didn't cause his brother's death. Recalling it, Tae-soo is regretful for not trusting his daughter. Hence, he suppresses his feelings and stops his intention to question Ha-bin. At the same time, the police found another footage of the one who rent the burnt car. Her face is clearly seen on the screen. Tae-soo watches the footage and realizes it's not Ha-bin. That's the girl who had a conflict with Ha-bin that he saw at the police station. Tae-soo's friend continues searching and finds Song Min-ah's. To find out the truth, Tae-soo pretends to be a customer to contact Song Min-ah. They agree to meet at night. At the venue, he sees another one who isn't Song Min-ah. It's Eun-jin, a friend of Song Min-ah. She goes with a young guy. They impersonate Min-ah and Tae-soo. It's obvious that they are fooling the customers. As the customer doesn't appear, Eun-jin leaves with a guy. Tae-soo tails them and the young guy uncovers him. He speeds up and Tae-soo loses sight of them though he tries to catch up. When he returns home, he can't suppress himself anymore. He asks Ha-bin if she ever met Song Min-ah again after the time at the police station. Before she speaks up, he says he knows she got hit by the car on purpose. Ha-bin unexpectedly admits it. She explains how she feels meaningless this life is since her mother's death. Yet, she hasn't met Song Min-ah again. Ha-bin sheds tear and demands her father's trust in her. The next day, the police checks on all the CCTV footages and confirms Song Min-ah withdrew money from an ATM. At the same time, the guy was with Eun-jin last night is arrested when he's packing up for a run. The police officer suspects that he and Song Min-ah plans to flee away. He questions where she is. Young Min doesn't speak a word. The new profiler finds that Min-ah has 2 social networking accounts. One is a private which only her close friends can see her posts. She posts photos of her limbs. Among these photos, they notice a bruise on her arm. Dae-hong presumes that she was violently abused. But her public account is totally different. She only shows her fancy life. But there is no taken photos of the girl. Digging a little deeper, Dae-hong detects Min-ah's order of diet pills that help treat diabetes. Tae-soo recalls the result of the medical examination. There is content of diabetes medication in the victim's blood. For this reason, Tae-soo is sure that Song Min-ah is the victim. Tae-soo's co-worker has caught the girl withdrawing the money with Min-ah's card. However, she isn't Song Min-ah. She's one of the runaway kids whom Tae-soo tailed the other day. Before Eun-jin is interrogated, she wants to have a private talk with Tae-soo. As they once met at the police station, Eun-jin knows Tae-soo is Ha-bin's father. She tells Tae-soo that Min-ah wanted to see Ha-bin again. And it was the last time they met. Tae-soo is stunned. Ha-bin claimed that she had never met Min-ah again. If Eun-jin doesn't lie, it's Ha-bin. Tae-soo wants to know why they met. Eun-jin demands Tae-soo to free her or else she'll declare that Ha-bin met Song Min-ah. The blood test result confirms it's Min-ah's blood in the warehouse. It is confirmed that Eun-jin and Dae-young plan to run away with Min-ah's money. Hence, the police rests all their suspicious on Dae-young and Eun-jin. Nevertheless, they don't have enough evidences to accuse him. As a result, they have to release Dae-young and continue inquiring into Eun-jin. During the interrogation, Eun-jin reveals nothing about Ha-bin. Also, she affirms that Song Min-ah wasn't unusual at all before the case happened. Tae-sub finds a reason to release Eun-jin. Eun-jin keeps her words, which is not to reveal the relationship between Min-ah and Ha-bin. Back then, Min-ah dropped her phone. It's Ha-bin who picked it up. That was the reason why they met again on the day when the case occurred. Ha-bin comes to the police station when Tae-soo is busy solving the case. She lies that she brings clothes to her father. Actually, she plans to read the records of the case on her father's desk. After that, she gets home and burns the red charm. When Tae-soo hears that Ha-bin came to the police station, he also realizes someone touched his records. Thinking of Eun-jin's testimony, his doubt raises again which he has tried to bury. Actually, there was something back at the accident of his son. Back in the year, the police found a ribbon at the foot of the cliff. Tae-soo remembered Ha-bin blindfolded her brother with the ribbon when playing seek and hide. He gets home and questions his daughter if she made away with Min-ah. Unexpectedly, Ha-bin asks him back, "Do you think my brother died of an accident? Do you believe there's nothing back at my mom's death?" Hearing her cold words and ironical question, an unprecedented fear raises in Tae-soo's heart. At that time, Captain Oh in charge of the case visits Tae-soo's home. Because he found Ha-bin's phone number on the list of Min-ah's contact. Until when Captain Oh pays a visit that he knows Ha-bin is daughter of Tae-soo. He wants to ask for Ha-bin's alibi on the day of the crime. Ha-bin calmly confirms that she has never been to the forest where's the crime scene. Also, she explains about her connection to Song Min-ah. According to Ha-bin, she witnessed Min-ah stealing someone's phone in the subway. At that time, she was about to denounce it to the police. Yet, she had a conflict with Min-ah. That's all. And she affirms to stay with her boyfriend all day long when the murder happened. Her explanation is almost perfect. Captain Oh has no choice but to withdraw for a while. However, Tae-soo doesn't buy into her. Eun-jin told him that Ha-bin picked up Min-ah's phone. They agreed to meet to return the phone. Mina disappeared after the meeting. Habin answers to her father, "You doubt me when someone passed away. What am I to you?" Tae-soo doesn't reply to her. He looks so sad. However, he did not know that in the late Habin searches for articles with her name. To confirm her alibi, Tae-soo comes to see her boyfriend to ask about it. Soo-hyun confirms that they were together in a room that night. He also describes her as a good girl. He even hopes Tae-soo won't doubt her any longer. Tae-soo asks Habin's PE teacher a few questions. Jun-tae speaks of her like her boyfriend did. Soo-hyun tells Habin about her father's visit. Habin smiles conspiratorially. She thinks it's profitable when her father is a profiler. It helps her better at telling lies. After that, Tae-soo and Captain Oh check on the CCTV at the hotel. It's true that Habin didn't leave her room. That night, Habin comes to the storage lockers in the subway station. She enters the code to take something inside. When she returns home, she sees her father's car. She comes close to it and does something. During dinner, Tae-soo says he won't hurt her with his doubt again. Habin is willing to follow him if he wants to work at the headquarters in the city. Because she wants to start over in a new environment. The next day, the police catches a group of runaway kids. They are in the same group with Song Min-ah, who usually shakes people down. All of them give the same testimony as if they prepared it in advance. But one of them keeps changing her statement. Tae-soo believes that she is close to Song Min-ah, which might be the key to solve the case. So he lets Dae-hong, a sympathetic profiler, interrogate her. With his comfort words, Dae-hong can open her heart. According to her, everything started with Young Min, the leader of the runaway kids. When Song Min-ah left the group, Young Min threatened her many times. On the day of crime, Young Min wasn't home. Whether Young Min is the culprit or not, Tae-soo is sure that he wouldn't have acted alone. Based on the traces in the crime scene, Tae-soo can tell the culprit has two opposite characters. Meticulous but unorganized. That means the crime was committed by two people with opposite characters. Tae-soo requires the investigation team to focus on people around Young Min to find out the accomplice. However, Tae-soo withdraws from the case as he doesn't want to doubt his own daughter. At night, he contacts a realtor. He is going to sell his ex's house and move away to work at the headquarters. They'll start a new life. At that point in time, Tae-soo receives a phone call from a car owner, who parked his car near the hotel where Habin stayed during the night of the crime. Then he sends a dashcam footage that shocks Tae-soo. Habin sneaked out of the hotel that night. He puts into doubt again, which he stamped out. To confirm it, he comes to see Habin's boyfriend again. He finally admits that Habin left the hotel that night. The PE teacher tells Tae-soo about a female student who shared a name with Habin's boyfriend. Soo-hyun is Habin's close friend, who ran away from home. No one knows where she is now. Next, Tae-soo finds Soo-hyun's father. He says Soo-hyun got out as soon as Habin called her, and she looked worn out whenever she returned. When Habin gets back home, Tae-soo notices that she changes a new charm. It's a gift from her boyfriend. Habin mentions the relocation her boyfriend happened, mentioning. However, Tae-soo changes his attitude. He'll think about it after solving the case in the forest. Obviously, he's more and more suspicious of her. At the same time, Young Min is entering the code of the storage locker in the subway station. However, he fails to open it many times. He has no clue that Habin took all the money a few hours ago. Habin is searching for the cases solved by her father at home. Then she unlocked the drawer. There's the money that she took from the storage locker in the subway. Soon, Young Min receives a photo of the money. Next morning, Habin asks her father to drive her to school. She wants to talk to him on the way. However, she doesn't speak a word. When they arrive at her school, she only wishes him to successfully solve the case. Yet, Habin goes straight to the subway instead of getting to school. She's going to see Young Min for a transaction. Young Min is caught at the entrance of the subway. Earlier when Habin got off the car, Tae-soo found the red charm that he keeps in his car, recalling the red thread he found at the crime scene. To prevent Habin from destroying the evidence, Tae-soo swapped it with another exactly same one. The charm that Soo-bin burnt is the fake one. Tae-soo is keeping the real one. He takes a test comparing it to the red thread. When he's going to question Young Min, the prosecutor appears. Someone reported that Tae-soo took the bribe, and they found the amount of money mentioned in the denunciation in the car trunk. Tae-soo is suspended from work immediately. He is kicked out of the forest case. Remembering what Habin said in the morning, Tae-soo suspects that Habin denounced him. As Tae-soo is kicked out, The new profiler can't handle Young. As a result, Young Min is released. When he leaves the police station, she sees Ha Bin is coming on the other side of the road. They look at each other, and Ha Bin puts a smile on her face. Soon afterwards, the test result arrives. The charm matches the red thread found in the forest. Moreover, the DNA on the charm also matches the body found in the forest. And the body is the consequence of another crime. However, both cases are related to the red charm. Maybe the culprit committed the same crime again. Captain O asks Tae-soo about the charm. Tae-soo is silent for a long while. He can't believe it. Then he lies the charm belonged to a girl named Soo-hyun, who is Ha Bin's close friend. However, he doesn't tell them Soo-hyun disappeared last year. Perhaps the anatomy found in the forest is her. Soon later, it is confirmed to be true. The thing is that Ha Bin's charm carries the DNA of the victim. Tae-soo is quite sure that his daughter is the culprit. When Tae-soo returns home, he talks about what he's uncovered to her. He frankly advises her to tune herself in. Ha Bin is still as calm as usual. She tells him, "You just believe what you want to." Then she gets changed before going to the police station. However, a police car arrives a few minutes later. Turns out Ha Bin denounces to the police that her father abused her. The police is convinced and keeps her under protection. In the car, Ha Bin asks her dad on the phone, "Why have you never asked me for the reason?" Tae-soo is really confused by her difficult understanding question. Young Min is released. When he leaves the police station, he walks towards Ha Bin, who's standing opposite. Ha Bin is very careful. She texts him to pass her by when catching sight of the police who's tailing him. Also, she tells him to wait for her next message. Captain O wants to know if Young Min knows the girl named Soo-hyun. She and Song Min-ah are the victims of murder cases, and they both were members of Young Min's group. Young Min denies to be acquainted with Soo-hyun. Then he orders his members not to tell the police anything. When Young Min and his group members are taken to the Tae-soo notices one of them is absent. She once helped the police by confirming that Young Min didn't have an alibi. After being sold by Eun-jin, Young Min beat her up as a revenge. Young Min and the runaway kids rent a condo of Sung-hee to live. When Tae-soo asks Sung-hee about Soo-hyun, she gives him a vague answer. Tae-soo sees a wound on her neck. The next day, Tae-soo is claimed innocence. He's proved to be framed. Thanks to this, he can get back to work on the cases. Captain O meets many difficulties when interrogating Young Min. Tae-soo follows after Young Min to the toilet. Tae-soo wants to know if Young Min know Ha Bin. Young Min admits to know Ha Bin is Tae-soo's daughter long ago. He then shifts all the blame on Ha Bin, accusing her of murdering Soo-hyun. Tae-soo continues questioning Young Min. Young Min recognizes it's true that Soo-hyun is a member of his group. Tae-soo tries to fish for more information. He lets Young Min know the police has found Soo-hyun's body. Young Min doesn't care. He even threatens Tae-soo. "I wonder who murdered Song Min-ah." Young Min also believes that Ha Bin caused the death of Min-ah. Tae-soo calms himself down and retorts with his analysis skill. He talks about Young Min that touches his pain. Indeed, Young Min beings to waver. Grabbing the chance, Tae-soo makes it up that Soo-hyun's body was full of bruises. Young Min gets the trap. He cracks up and says, "The body was buried underground for a year. There's no trace." He accidentally denounces himself. Earlier, Tae-soo only told him her body was found. He didn't say her body was buried under the ground. Young Min grinds his teeth and keeps silent after slipping his tongue. As it's still the lack of evidences, the chief of police has to release Young Min and puts him on watch 24/7. Young Min comes back home after being released. Sung-hee mentions Tae-soo's question about Soo-hyun to Young Min. Young Min asks her to keep everything a secret. He's so sure that Ha Bin took Min-ah's life. But he can't denounce her due to the cash in her hands. Young Min promises to get it back and flee away with Sung-hee. In the meantime, Captain O is seeing Soo-hyun's homeroom teacher so as to ask about her relationship. Juntae tells a lie that Soo-hyun is an introvert who doesn't have close friends. Standing on the stairs, Ha Bin slightly bows to her teacher. They seem to share a secret. In the officer, Juntae is deep in thought. He stares at the blue charm on the desk. Putting on his thinking cap for a while, he puts it in the drawer. At night, Juntae silently meets Sung-hee, who has a connection to Young Min. He lets her know the police came to the school asking about Soo-hyun. It seems that they don't want their secret is out. Sung-hee hugs Juntae and comforts him. They aren't just friends. Ha Bin wants to see Young Min at night. As Young Min is under close supervision, Habin is confident with her idea to mislead them. At night, young Min is hospitalized after taking sleeping pills. Afraid of troubles, the chief of police cancels the supervision. No one knows that young Min gets changed and sneaks out. The room is empty when Tae-soo arrives at the hospital. Young Min disappears. At the same time, the profilers find a photo at Soo-hyun's home, in which the face of the girl sitting next to Soo-hyun was scratched. Tae-soo feels familiar with her and realizes Habin. Thus, Tae-soo asks his friend to make the list of Habin's regular contacts last year. The list shows 2 phone numbers that Habin contacted regularly. It is worth mentioning that both of these numbers belong to the same woman named Ji-soo. That's the name of Habin's mother, who is Tae-soo's wife. When Tae-soo makes a call to one of the phone numbers, the phone rings in the locked drawer of Habin. Opening the drawer, he sees a photo of Soo-hyun and Habin on the phone screen. It's the same as the photo found in Soo-hyun's home. And Habin's face is scratched. It's confirmed that Habin took such a photo with Soo-hyun. At night, young Min goes to a forest. He wonders why Habin knows about this location. For the last year, young Min asked the girls, especially Min-ah, to visit this forest regularly. He appointed her to reach a tree with a red ribbon hung on and bring back the bag of cash put under it. Whenever she finished her job, young Min paid her with a wad of money. One day, Min-ah went to the tree as usual, but there was no bag of money. She reported it to young Min and he thought she stole it. He flied into a rage and beat her up. Couldn't stand his violence, Min-ah stole his cash and fled away. She kept it in a storage locker in the subway station. One day, she traveled by train with the bag without knowing that Habin is watching her. Habin witnessed Min-ah put the bag in the storage locker. From then on, Habin began to follow Min-ah. Soon afterwards, when Min-ah was picking someone's pocket, Habin played the police siren on her phone, acting as someone called the police. She approached Min-ah and pretended to help her hide in a motel. There, Habin tried to win Min-ah's heart. She asked for Min-ah's phone number with an excuse that she was also a runaway kid. Min-ah refused to give her. So she changed the way of approach by denouncing Min-ah to the police. That was why they were taken to the police station. When the police officer asked for Min-ah's information, Habin heard and grasped her name and ID number. A few days later, Habin stole Min-ah's phone and installed a phone tracking app. Then she asked to see Min-ah to return her phone. Back to the present, young Min is seeing Habin. He wonders why Habin did all those. He infers the answer before she speaks up. He believes it's related to her late mother. Young Min admits to blackmail Habin's mother. Habin wants to know why. Young Min shows her a video, in which Habin's mother is digging a hole. She's burying Soo-hyun, Habin's friend. Back then, young Min witnessed Habin's mother burying Soo-hyun's body. Then he uses to threaten Habin to return his money. When they're struggling, a man with helmet appears and helps Habin overpower young Min. Habin runs back home and her drawer is open. The phone is no longer there. Tae-soo brings her phone to a phone repair center to learn about her secret. While he's waiting for the repair, Habin sends the video of her mother to Tae-soo. She questions about Soo-hyun's death and the relationship between him and her mother. Tae-soo can't answer the question. Soo-hyun is still the center of the investigation. The mobile technician lets Tae-soo know about the phone is tracked. The app is used to connect 2 devices. Checking on the data, Tae-soo recognizes his ex-wife's phone number. Following the tracker, Tae-soo reaches a shopping mall. According to the staff, he finds the mental health clinic where Habin came. There, the doctor lets him know Habin came for her mother's mental health record. Tae-soo is stunned when hearing about his ex's stress treatment before her death. Leaving the shopping mall, Habin recognizes someone keeping her company. It's the man with the black helmet the other day. Due to the traffic jam, Habin gets off the taxi. She faces the man in black and asks who he is. The man in helmet rides away without answering her question. Meanwhile, young Min gets back to the place of the runaway kids. He doubts that Sung-hee is the one with the black helmet. Because she's the only who knew young Min was going to see Habin. Sung-hee denies everything. Young Min wants Sung-hee to sell her condo for money to go on a run. He wants to leave as soon as getting back his money from Habin. Young Min has no clue that Juntae took a photo when he met Habin in the forest last night. To dig deeper into the case, Eojin and Daehong go to the school to see Juntae. However, he suddenly asks for a leave today. The profilers raise a doubt. Since the police contacts Juntae, he seems to change his life completely and show many unusual behaviors. Aside from approaching Juntae, the police still closely supervises young Min, the suspect of the murder case. During the supervision, They uncover that Young Min went to the forest to see someone. There are 3 different footprints. 2 of them are male size, and the other might be female one. Coincidentally, it's where Soo-hyun's body was found. Referring to the location of meeting, the profiler believes 3 of them know Soo-hyun. The security guard of the apartment building reveals that Young Min bothers Juntae at night, which means Young Min and Juntae know each other. In the meantime, Tae-soo is listening to the recording of his ex during her treatment. He also uncovers the secret which his ex and Ha-bin kept from him. Before death, his ex was very happy when Ha-bin finally had a close friend. For many years earlier, Ha-bin is always different from the other kids. Comedies couldn't make her laugh. She was alone all the time due to her cold thinking and attitude to her peers. To help her daughter live as a normal girl, Ha-bin's mother divorced her husband and spent all her time taking care of Ha-bin. After years of efforts, Ha-bin took her first friend home on her 16th birthday. Her friend is Soo-hyun. To celebrate it, Ha-bin's mother prepared a banquet. Soo-hyun gave Ha-bin a red charm as a birthday gift. Ha-bin's mother gave Soo-hyun a mobile phone. She hopes Ha-bin will get better thanks to the care and positive changes. However, everything went worse. The following days, she heard about Ha-bin's truanting. Ha-bin began to go home late and hang out with bad students. She seemed to search for someone. Worrying about her daughter, Ji-soo went to ask Soo-hyun about it. Unexpectedly, Soo-hyun told her Ha-in was looking for her. Instead of facing each other, Soo-hyun chose to skip classes. She avoided and rejected Ha-bin's calls. When Ji-soo asked for the reason why, Soo-hyun said Ji-soo knew. Ji-soo was confused as she got what Soo-hyun meant. Ha-bin wasn't normal. For the sake of Ha-bin, Ji-soo didn't allow her to contact Soo-hyun. Ha-bin opposed against it. She insisted on seeing Soo-hyun. Ha-bin notices her mother's tremble as if she was afraid of her own daughter. She was pretty sure her mother doubted her about her son's death. Just like her father. Her mother didn't know how to answer her question. Through a gap of the door, Ji-soo saw Ha-bin breaking the furniture. Since then, their relation between them became strained. A while later, Ji-soo came to see a psychiatrist for an advice. She burst into tears and told the doctor her daughter struck a dog dead. When she found its body, she helped Ha-bin bury it. She spoke in tears that she didn't know how to face her unusual daughter. Listening to the recordings of his ex, Tae-soo is sure there was no dog at all. The body might be Soo-hyun, which Ji-soo helped Ha-bin bury. Recalling what Young Min told him a few days ago, Tae-soo argues that the reason why Ha-bin clung to Young Min might be the answer. Hence, he goes to the police station and demands them to find Young Min. Concurrently, he finds the CCTV footage of the apartment building where Juntae lived. Last night, Juntae went somewhere with a pair of rain boots on his feet. That's abnormal. Tae-soo requires the officers to survey the environs, especially the fishing farms. He doubts that Juntae imagines his bloody hands in a fishing farm. Sung-hee's appearance brings him back to reality. Juntae just wants to tell the truth, because he is overwhelmed with feeling of guilty and conflicting emotions. Sung-hee consoles and advises him to keep it a secret for a little while longer. It's for the sake of their current life. However, Young Min is watching and taking photo of them. When his woman is with Juntae, Young Min gets rage and gives Juntae a good beating. The police suddenly appears at that time. Tae-soo hits Young Min with his car when the suspect is running away. Tae-soo questions Young Min about the video of his ex burying the body. He's sure that his wife only buried the body, not a murderer. The one who took Soo-hyun's life is none other than Young Min. But his ex-wife suspected her own daughter. Young Min strongly denies it. Tae-soo changes his plan. He wants Young Min to stay away from his daughter. At night, Juntae is summoned by the police. He neither speaks a word nor reveal any secret. Tae-soo feels stuck with the witnesses' silence and the ragged clues of the crimes. Tae-soo is almost broken. Coming home, he hugs the family photo. He thinks of his ex's recordings. As she said, Ha-bin is truly different from the others. Ji-soo was very sure that Ha-bin didn't cause her brother's death. She didn't doubt her daughter like her husband. In order to protect Ha-bin from her husband's suspicion, she decided to divorce him. Looking at the family photo, Tae-soo can't hold back his tears. When Ha-bin returns home at night, Tae-soo frankly shares his thoughts with her. He knows Ha-bin approaching the spoiled girls to revenge for her mother. Right at that time, Tae-soo hopes she'll tell him the truth. Also, he promises to believe whatever she says. Yet, Ha-bin is still silent because she doesn't buy into him. When her mother passed away, she witnessed with her bare eyes when her father coldly pressed her mother to the dead end. Tae-soo doesn't reply to her. Instead of objecting, he asks her to wait. I'll find out the truth for sure. Ha-bin doesn't know his keeps silent to protect her. A night of a few years ago, Tae-soo came home and smelled the gas. He opened the window for a ventilation and found Ha-bin lying motionless. After waking her up, he finds his wife sitting in the living room. Looking at her soulless eyes, he knew she lost control and did something wrong. He asked her what was going on and she told him about their son case. Though she tried to convince herself that Ha-bin had nothing to do with his death, she still doubted Ha-bin sometimes. She was eaten up with suspicion. Failing to stand it, she acted stupid. Tae-soo slipped his tongue in anger. Whatever you think, do not harm your daughter. Ha-bin heard his last words when she woke up. That was why she misunderstood her father. In fact, that wasn't everything he said. When he pulled himself together, he tried to set her mind at rest. If you leave the world, Ha-bin will be left alone. I'm her father, but she's never been close to me. Being enlightened, Jisoo begged him not to tell Ha-bin about her stupid action. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Tae-soo promised her to keep silent, though it caused a distance between him and his daughter. The case is under investigation. The cause of the deaths of Song Min-ah and Ha-bin's friend, Soo-hyun, is still unknown. To clarify it, Tae-soo focuses on Young Min, who bears upon all the suspicions. Captain Oh goes to Young Min's house with a search warrant. Tae-soo also joins the search. The condo where the runaway kids live is very questionable. Tae-soo rather suspect the personal relationship between Sung-hee and Young Min. Sung-hee looks stressed when he questions. She insists that Young Min is just a boarder. As soon as the police leaves, Young Min gives her a call. Sung-hee doesn't pick up the phone. That drives Young Min insane. Ha-bin is near this area. She recognizes the man in black who has tailed Hearer for 10 days. In order to identify him, Ha-bin denounces to the police about a man riding under the influence. The police stops the man by blocking his way. Out of choice, he takes off his helmet. Ha-bin stares at the man. He's just a middle-aged stranger. She wonders why he followed her. He introduces himself as Song Min-ah's father, who is finding for the one taking his daughter's life. He asks Ha-bin back and expresses his doubt of Young Min. He knew Tae-soo released Young Min, and Ha-bin kept track of Young Min. He doesn't get why Tae-soo and Ha-bin treat Young Min in a different way. Ha-bin doesn't answer him. It's the first time she heard that her father released Tae-soo. A few days later, Ha-bin questions Tae-soo why a profiler like him released Young Min. She knows he's hiding something. Tae-soo tells a lie to protect his daughter. That Ha-bin's mother took the life of Soo-hyun. He released Young Min to cover the truth. Ha-bin keeps asking about the night when her mother passed away. She wants to know why he didn't tell her he did see her mother that night. Tae-soo tells another lie. At that time, he got a promotion, so he didn't want his wife to make influence on his career. Ha-bin keeps silent about his answer. She doesn't know that her father sheds tears of pangs in the dark. But he can't tell the truth. The secrets of the crimes and the strained relationship are like an unbreakable grasp. Tae-soo continues investigating the case. He asks a runaway kid about Young Min. Tae-soo uses her weak points. If she doesn't tell him, he'll bring her home. That means she'll be abused by her stepfather again. Out of choice, she has to tell him. That Young Min has feelings for Sung-hee. However, she has a boyfriend. When Young Min knew about it, he hurt her. Tae-soo asks her if the man in the photo is Sung-hee's boyfriend. She nods her head. Tae-soo seems to have a speculation about it because the man in the photo is Juntae. At night, Young Min calls Sung-hee. Still, she ignores his calls. Young Min suddenly appears behind her. As the last times, he questions her who took Soo-hyun's life. Turns out it's her who told him she witnessed Ha-bin's mother murdering Soo-hyun. After talking to Ha-bin in the forest, Young Min knows Ha-bin's mother isn't the culprit. When Sung-hee mentions Juntae, Young Min believes the teacher is the culprit in Sung. He used Young Min to cover her boyfriend from the police. The more she says, the angrier he gets. He finds himself stupid when he wants to flee away with her. Being betrayed by the woman he loves, Young Min can't let himself lose. Neither lets Sung-hee flee away with Juntae. Tae-soo then comes to see Juntae and takes him to the police station. However, he leaves without saying a word as soon as receiving a phone call. It's Sung-hee, his girlfriend. When Juntae arrives at the venue, Young Min appears from the dark. He calls Juntae murderer and threatens to denounce him to the police. Juntae calmly replies that Young Min doesn't have an evidence. More importantly, the police won't buy into a runaway kid. Young Min gets furious and beat Juntae up. Sung-hee freaks out when her boyfriend is beaten into pants. She hugs Young Min tight and begs him to stop. As his crush sheds tears of care for another man, Young Min feels bitter. Last night, Minna's father came to see Juntae, and he was asked not to protect Juntae. The middle-aged man didn't agree because he is Juntae's father. The truth is out. The culprit is Juntae. His father talked with determination about his plan to protect Juntae. Young Min calls the police after releasing Sung-hee and Juntae. He wants to submit an important clue. Next, he asks Tae-soo out for a meeting. He assures to tell everything he knows. Meanwhile, Juntae's father shares Young Min's location with Habin. In the dark, Habin meets Young Min before her dad. Young Min is surprised. Habin stabs him on the thigh. She wants to know if her mother murdered Soo-hyun. As Young Min dares to tear him apart, Young Min has to tell him the truth. Her mother thought she murdered her friend, so she buried the body. A while later, Tae-soo gets a call from Young Min. He has told Habin everything or else she would have taken his life. Afraid that Habin will a thoughtless act, Tae-soo hurriedly comes to see Young Min. But when he arrives, Young Min already die of blood loss. Habin is standing there with bloody hands. At that time, the police surrounds the area. Tae-soo has two choices. Let out a secret or protect his daughter. He doesn't have time. Captain Oh leads his team to the crime scene. In a blind panic, he acts as a father. He takes Habin out of the crime scene before Captain Oh catches sight of them. On the way home, Tae-soo wonders why she was at the crime scene. Habin thinks he still doubts her. However, Tae-soo sincerely claims to trust her from then on. Coming home, Habin tells him Young Min already lost his life when she arrived at the scene. She went there to ask about the culprit who took Soo-hyun's life. Habin's mother thought her daughter gets Soo-hyun smoked. Hence, she lost control and acted crazily after burying the body. As for Habin, she can only give her mother an explanation when finding the culprit. After listening to her story, Tae-soo hides her bloody clothes and knife in the drawer. Then he gets back to the crime scene. The police finds 2 wounds from 2 different weapons on the body. Maybe there are 2 culprits. Examining the scene, Tae-soo finds his ex-wife's necklace, which Habin always wears. A profiler comes when he's thinking of a solution. A meeting about Young Min's death is held at the police station. Dae-hog says Juntae met Young Min on the day he lost his life. Sung-hee's son disclosed it. Right after that, Tae-soo leaves the police station to find Juntae. He wants to know why Juntae met Young Min. Juntae changes the topic instead of answering. He assures to see Habin where Young Min was murdered. Tae-soo makes a serious face and tries to keep calm. He requires Juntae to go to the police station to work in conjunction with the police. When Tae-soo comes back to the police station, Captain Oh asks him for a talk. He has uncovered Young Min once called Tae-soo. The captain wants to know why they contacted. Tae-soo replies that Young Min wanted to confess to him, yet he didn't appear. However, he doesn't mention the clues related to Habin. Captain Oh isn't happy when Tae-soo sails his own boat. But he doesn't question more. Right after that, Eo-jin discloses to Captain Oh that Tae-soo acted alone because of his daughter. During the investigation, Eo-jin learned that Habin and Soo-hyun were close friends. Young Min once admitted to know Tae-soo and Habin might the connection. Hence, she offers to inquire into Habin. At that time, another profiler, Dae-hong, interrupts her and plays the recordings of Young Min's call. Young Min asks the police for Tae-soo's phone number. Dae-hong assumes that if they knew each other, they would have each other's phone numbers. Thanks to Dae-hong, Captain Oh temporarily trusts Tae-soo. So, he doesn't agree to inquire into Habin. Meanwhile, Juntae is seeing his father, Do Cheol. Do Cheol says he witnessed Habin stabbed Young Min. By the way, he advises Juntae to keep a distance from his girlfriend. Because Sung-hee watched Juntae ending Song Min-a's life. Do Cheol is afraid of her betrayal. Juntae believes in his girlfriend. He warns his father not to interfere or else he will cut off a connection to him. Despite his warnings, Do Cheol still takes an action to protect his son. The next day, he comes to see Sung-hee without letting Juntae know. He pretends to be Min-a's father and makes her tell him everything when Min-a lost her life. He believes Sung-hee, who manages the runaway kids, knows Min-a well. A few days ago, Sung-hee received a call from Song Min-a. She said she would return for some belongings. As Sung-hee's son had a fever, she had to take him to the hospital. Therefore, she asked Juntae to open the door for Min-a. When she returned, she caught her boyfriend violating Song Min-ah. However, she didn't tell him the whole truth to protect her boyfriend. She said she gave Min-ah the password. On the same day, Young Min kept searching for Min-ah. He didn't intend to spare Min-ah. Sung-hee is shifting the blame on Young Min. Jun-tae gets mad when his father met Sung-hee without telling him. Do Cheol wants to know if Jun-tae really took Min-ah's life. He can't get why his son, who is a teacher, could commit such a crime. Jun-tae confesses his crime. He smiles in grief and blames the heredity. When Tae-soo is investigating, Ha-bin knows her father burnt her bloody clothes and knife, which he hid in the drawer. She begins to find the real identity of the man in the black helmet by acting as an officer and calling the Center for Child Protection. They say Min-ah's parents passed away long ago. Then she came to the police station and denounced a man in helmet who robbed her. She misleads the officer to grab a chance searching for the result. The man she's looking for is Young Do Cheol. At night, Tae-soo calls his daughter. Someone saw her where Young Min lost his life. His words raise her doubt on Do Cheol. So she visits the hotel where Do Cheol is staying. She searches around and finds her mobile in the drawer. It reminds her of what happened in the forest the other day. That night, someone drove a car after her. In a panic mode, she climbed a hill to hide. The driver is Do Cheol. Ha-bin dropped her phone on the run and Do Cheol picked it up. A while later, someone sends a text asking the phone holder to pick up the phone, otherwise the secret in the forest will be exposed. When she finds the phone, she finds a pile of envelopes in his room aside from her phone. The addressee is Jun-tae and it tells Ha-bin the relationship between them. In the meantime, Jun-tae is seeing his girlfriend. He tells her the man in the morning is his dad. Also, he admits to meet Young Min after she leaves. At the police station, the officers see Sung-hee coming near the crime scene when Young Min was murdered. Captain Oh is suspicious of Sung-hee so that he decides to catch her. During the interrogation, Sung-hee still protects her boyfriend by telling nothing about his meeting with Young Min. However, Jun-tae tunes himself in with an evidences. When Do Cheol knows his son tuned himself in, he's very worried. He claims his son isn't the culprit. The other night, he saw Ha-bin standing next to Young Min's body with bloody hands. The officers take a step forward when they find a footage of a rider who approached the crime scene. Captain Oh believes that the rider is Jun-tae's accomplice. However, Tae-soo notices Ha-bin sitting behind him. Coming home, Tae-soo shares his thoughts with his daughter. He is quite sure Ha-bin had been to the forest when Song Min-ah got smoked. But she is just the witness, not the culprit. Ha-bin hasn't claimed her innocence in order to find the one who took Soo-hyun's life before Tae-soo does. She wants to handle the culprit on her own. Next, Tae-soo asks her about the rider. But Ha-bin doesn't give him an answer. Suddenly, Tae-soo puts the handcuff on the table. A while later, Tae-soo receives a message. Someone sends him a photo of Ha-bin standing next to Young Min's body with bloody hands. It's sent by Do Cheol. He requires Tae-soo to release his son. Or else he'll post the photo. A few minutes ago, his son tuned himself in and confessed to take Young Min's life. However, the profilers don't buy into him. Because there were two people at the crime scene. Based on the traces, it's a planned crime. It's not a manslaughter as he said. Eo-jin shows him a photo. It's Do Cheol as the rider and a passenger. Jun-tae has an abnormal reaction to it. Eo-jin suspects that Do Cheol is the culprit. The girl going with him is the owner of the necklace. Tae-soo knows that girl is his daughter. But he doesn't tell his colleagues about it. When Jun-tae is being questioned, Ha-bin comes to the police station. Tae-soo has a private talk to her. He wants her to tell who the rider is. Or else she'll be treated as a suspect sooner or later. However, Ha-bin refuses to tell. She requests him to share with her about the progress of the investigation. To protect his daughter, Tae-soo interrogates Jun-tae by himself. He is aware that Jun-tae isn't the culprit. He's just covering for someone. As Jun-tae doesn't speak, he summons Sung-hee. He shares his analysis with them. Tae-soo is pretty sure that Sung-hee is the culprit. Jun-tae decides to take the blame after watching his girlfriend leaving the scene. He continues avowing his guilt to protect his girlfriend. The teacher got rid of Young Min because he knew Jun-tae murdered Min-ah. For confirming his statement, the officers come to a forest at night, where Jun-tae buried the body of Min-ah. When they arrive, there's a big hole. Someone dug a hole and brought the body away. It's Do Cheol, father of Jun-tae. The corpse isn't decomposed. Hesitating for a moment, he picked up an axe and divided the corpse to make sure no one can find it. Based on the CCTV footages, The police confirms Du Cheol to be the accomplice. They also find out Du Cheol is father of Juntae. Currently, they can't track Du Cheol down. Du Cheol sends another photo to force Tae-soo to release his son. In the photo, Ha-bin is at the crime scene. However, it's just half of a photo. Tae-soo only sees the body of Youngmin. Du Cheol calls Tae-soo and urges him to release Juntae immediately. Tae-soo explains to him Juntae turned himself in. So he doesn't know what to do in such a situation. Du Cheol doesn't care. He claims Juntae's innocence and requires Tae-soo to try all means to free his son. As for Tae-soo, the only way to protect his daughter is to overturn Juntae's testimony. He gotta prove the culprit is someone else. By then, he can release Juntae legally. Tae-soo still considers Sung-hee the culprit of 2 crimes. 3 of the victims once lived in Sung-hee's condo. Sung-hee's husband passed away. After his death, she inherited his house. Before the death of the 4, they lived in the same place. There's a reason to suspect her. Tae-soo questions Juntae again. Juntae finally tells the truth when his girlfriend becomes a suspect. He made Min-ah shut up for good when he tried to sexually assault her. Because she resisted, he strongly controlled her. Juntae is very regretful. His sob proves the genuinity of his words. However, Tae-soo still doubts Juntae. Captain O shots down Tae-soo's opinion. The profilers also think Tae-soo is wrong. When the investigation is at a standstill, the relationship between Tae-soo and his daughter begin to change. In order to stop Ha-bin from the dark, Tae-soo decides to tell her the truth. He gives her the recording of her mother during the mental treatment before her death. Her mother told the truth that she always wants to know. Ha-bin learns that her mother always tormented herself over her brother's fall off the cliff. Also, she once doubted Ha-bin like her father did. So that she decided to end her doubt by a divorce. As a result, she ended her own life for guilt beyond her daughter. Ha-bin cries her eyes out hearing her mother's words. At midnight, Tae-soo returns home and sees Ha-bin sleeping in sound. It's been a long time since his last time feeling peace. When she wakes up, Tae-soo apologizes to her. If he didn't doubt her first, her mother wouldn't have been affected and acted the same. Ha-bin wants to know why her father doesn't give the recording to her sooner. Tae-soo sincerely tells her he doesn't want her to hate him. He treasures a chance of living with her which isn't easy for him to have. The next day, Tae-soo prepares breakfast and wakes Ha-bin up. Ha-bin appears in her uniform. She looks peaceful like she is free. In the car, Ha-bin tells Tae-soo that she'll give up. She no longer wants to revenge for her mother. Because she can't destroy the life that her mother once hoped for. She'll live well. Tae-soo promises to find the culprit. At school, she speaks with her friends naturally. She decides to be a normal student as usual. The voice of Soo-hyun resounds in her ears. Looking over the ground, she seems to see Soo-hyun waving at her. At that time, she puts a smile on her face. In the same time, in the forest where the first body was found, Captain O finds Min-ah's body that Juntae buried. According to the post-mortem examination result, Song Min-ah wasn't strangled to death. It doesn't match Juntae's testimony. The officers also know who bought the necklace. She is Tae-soo's ex-wife. Captain O remembers Eo-jin put Tae-soo's daughter under suspicion. He decides to ask her why she suspects Ha-bin. The DNA on the broken mug matches the DNA on the necklace found at the crime scene. Eo-jin grabbed a coffee with Ha-bin to discuss further about the case. Ha-bin was careful enough to cover her acquaintance with young Min. However, she accidentally broke a mug. Thanks to the DNA test result, there's no more question about it. It's proved that Ha-bin was at the crime scene. Tae-soo is questioning Juntae. He shows the examination test of Song Min-ah's body. Juntae is so confused when it said Min-ah wasn't strangled to dead. Juntae admits to drink that night. When he woke up, he found Min-ah dead. At first, he told himself it wasn't him. Sung-hee suddenly got in. She thought he murdered a person under the influence like his father did. Juntae trusts her so he didn't call the police. When Tae-soo is about to make a guess, Captain O wants to talk and shows Tae-soo the photo proving Ha-bin was at the crime scene. From then on, Captain O considers Ha-bin a suspect. And Tae-soo has to withdraw from the investigation. Tae-soo argues with his boss that the photo can't be an evidence. He hopes he can continue with the investigation. Juntae is getting nosy. After listening to Tae-soo's inference, Juntae recalls Sung-hee's abnormal behaviors when Min-ah was lost. He wants to have a private talk with Tae-soo. Captain O has no choice but to let Tae-soo talk to him within 2 hours. The police finds out it's Du Cheol who sent the photo. Captain O guesses Tae-soo is being threatened by Du Cheol. He changes his attitude and fully resolve on kicking Tae-soo out of the investigation. At the same time, they take Ha-bin to the police station as a suspect. Du Cheol tells the police on the phone that he saw Ha-bin at the crime scene a few days after Min-ah's death. After questioning Ha-bin's classmates, Eo-jin learns that Ha-bin sneaked out of the hotel when Min-ah was lost. Ha-bin becomes the suspect of both murder cases. In the interrogation room, Eo-jin asks Ha-bin why she stood next to Young Min's body. Ha-bin calmly reacts to her. She admits to kidnap Young Min and stabbed his thigh, but she doesn't get him smoked. Eo-jin wants to know why Ha-bin had been to the location where Min-ah was buried. Ha-bin assures she's a witness. The profiler continues asking why Ha-bin set up an alibi. Ha-bin promptly replies to her that she doesn't want to be suspected. The profiler finds the conflict in her answers. Ha-bin set up an alibi before Song Min-ah was rubbed out. That means she planned to take Min-ah's life. The calmer Ha-bin is, the more Eo-jin suspects her. The police believes Ha-bin got the victim smoked. But they can't clarify her motive. While Ha-in is being questioned, Tae-soo comes to see Sung-hee to help Ha-bin out. Sung-hee assures she didn't meet Song Min-ah when she was gone. Tae-soo then asks Sung-hee's son. Do-yoon lets Tae-soo know he and his mother did meet Min-ah that day. Tae-soo brings the recording of Do-yoon's testimony to the police station and shares his thought. He suspects Sung-hee is the one who took Min-ah's life. She then shifted the blame on her boyfriend Juntae. And money is her motive to get someone smoked. After Min-ah left home and joined the group, she brought along the money she took from Young Min. Young Min carried along the cash on the run. However, no bag of cash is found at both scenes. Hearing so, Captain O instantly takes Sung-hee to the police station. As Sung-hee's stick keeps silence, the police uses her son as a bait. They tell her Do-yoon admitted to cause the death of Min-ah. He saw Min-ah returned home late with exhaustion so that he mixed some candies into her drink. Because he heard those candies could make people happy. Making her feel better was what he wanted. However, Min-ah lost her life after taking it. The case is made clear. If Do-yoon is the culprit, Ha-bin is innocent. Thus, Ha-bin is released. After leaving the police station, Ha-bin says she's hungry. Tae-soo is surprised. It's the first time she actively asks for a meal with him. When he's searching for a restaurant, the police officers demand him to take Ha-bin back there. Earlier, a girl living with Sung-hee submitted a video, in which Ha-bin's mother is burying Soo-hyun's body. Based on this evidence, they conclude Ha-bin's mother is the culprit and Ha-bin approached Young Min, Min-ah, and the others on purpose. They doubt Ha-bin even more. Captain O questions Tae-soo about this video. At that time, the police receives a news about Du Cheol's position. Captain O gets there with his partner. Du Cheol is coming near the place where Young Min was sung. He is also there. She seems to have a fight with Du Cheol. Du Cheol runs away as soon as he sees the police. The police loses trace of him. After that, Sung-hee gives the proliers a bag. She found it at another hideout of Young Min. She hopes it'll help them solve the case. A girl gives the police a video according to Sung-hee's request. She tries to prove her and her son's innocence. Young Min's phone is in the bag. Young Min uses it to blackmail Ha-bin's mother. He said he witnessed Ha-bin murdered Soo-hyun. Based on it, Captain O orders to arrest Soo-hyun. At that time, Tae-soo brings Du Cheol to the police station. Turns out Tae-soo helps Du Cheol flee away. Because he hopes Du Cheol can change Juntae's mind and tell the truth about Sung-hee. Tae-soo gotta prove Sung-hee the culprit to save his daughter. Captain O wants to talk to Du Cheol before letting him see his son. However, it doesn't mean he no longer doubts Ha-bin. The officer has checked on Ha-bin's PC and discovered the files of relevant people's information, including Song Min-ah, Young Min, and the officers in the police station. Obviously, Ha-bin comprehends information of them all. More than that, Ha-bin even carefully inquires into her dad, his doubts and the progress of the cases. Ha-bin learned everything about her dad's job. She could even make accurate forecast about those. She knew her father would cast a doubt on her first, but then he would believe in her. When reading the files, Tae-soo still defends his daughter. Eo-jin believes that Ha-bin really took Soo-hyun's life for getting rid of those who know the truth instead of revenging for her mother. If it's true, Tae-soo fell into the trap set up by his own daughter. He is helping his daughter escape from punishments without knowing it. In another place, Sung-hee is carrying a heavy suitcase to a hotel. It's full of cash which Song Min-ah stole from Young Min. In fact, Sung-hee successfully fooled everyone with her weak and innocent look. On the night of the crime, Song Min-ah met Sung-hee. She knew Young Min blackmailed a woman, which led to her death. Song Min-ah also heard of the shady relation between Sung-hee and Young Min. And she clearly knew Young Min wasn't smart enough to think of a blackmail plan. Hence, Min-ah concluded it was Sung-hee who incited Young Min. Min-ah asked for a share of money or else she would expose them. To shut Min-ah's up, Sung-hee spiked Min-ah's drink and ended her life. However, Sung-hee's son witnessed her crime. She then taught him how to lie for covering her crime. It's not the only crime that Sung-hee committed. Min-ah's isn't the only victim either. About the runaway kids living in her condo, Young Min forced them to do illegal deeds such as drug trafficking. When Soo-hyun refused to do it, Young Min locked her in a dark room. At that time, Soo-hyun begged Sung-hee to release her. Sung-hee, who looked kind, coldly rejected. However, Sung-hee's son furtively unlocked the door for Soo-hyun. When Soo-hyun was escaping, she overheard the talk between Sung-hee and Young Min. Thanks to which, she could know Sung-hee's true colors. To escape from this, Soo-hyun called for Ha-bin's help. However, Sung-hee found Soo-hyun first. When Soo-hyun was calling the police, Sung-hee bumped her off. When Ha-bin's mother heard the talk between Ha-bin and Soo-hyun, feeling anxious, she followed her daughter and witnessed Soo-hyun's death. Ji-soo decided to bury the body as she thought Ha-bin took her friend's life. At that time, Sung-hee, who was hiding, came up with an idea. She called Young Min and told him she saw Ha-bin getting Soo-hyun smoked. She drove Young Min to blackmail Ha-bin. Currently, the police only casts their doubt on Ha-bin. Eo-jin keeps questioning after showing Ha-bin the video her mother putting the body in her car trunk. She reckoned that Ha-bin took her mother out to help her handle the body. However, Ha-bin is still calm as usual. There's nothing that proves her guilt. At that time, the police finds the CCTV where Soo-hyun's body was found. Checking it out, they learn that Ha-bin's mother bought the footage and destroyed it a year ago. Relying on it, Captain Oh is so sure that Ha-bin is the culprit. Then he demands Tae-soo to advise his daughter to admit her guilt. In the interrogation room, Tae-soo tells nothing about his suspicion. He only assures to catch the real culprit, to claim his daughter's innocence. After everything had happened, Tae-soo knows for sure his abnormal daughter not a murderer. To solve the missing case of Song Min-ah, Dae-hong invites Sung-hee and her son to the police station. The other day, Do-yoon admitted to spike Song Min-ah's drink, which accidentally ended her life. Dae-hong realizes He always primes Do-yoon what to say. Before they got into the room, Do-yoon asked Dae-hong not to try his mother's food. In addition, Jun-tae, who is in the cell, also expresses his doubt against Sung-hee. Therefore, Captain Oh and Eo-jin begin to be suspicious of Sung-hee. So does Tae-soo. They presume Sung-hee caused the death of Song Min-ah, Soo-hyun and Young Min. So as to collect evidences of Sung-hee's crime, Tae-soo returns home and has a talk with his daughter. Ha-bin remembers her mother started writing letters after Soo-hyun was lost. Before Ji-soo took her own life, she usually went to a pagoda and worshipped her son's ash. Tae-soo and his daughter come to the pagoda for more clues. There, they find the urn of Soo-hyun's ash by chance. Next to it is a letter written by Ha-bin's mother. She wrote down her conclusion that Ha-bin got Soo-hyun smoked. Later, when she read Ha-bin's notes about depression treatment, she no longer doubted her daughter. To bring it to light, Ji-soo went to the crossroad where Soo-hyun was knocked to death for a CCTV checkup. As a result, she saw Sung-hee when the accident happened. Thereby, she was sure that Sung-hee took Soo-hyun's life and threatened her. Her mother came to see Sung-hee to confront. Sung-hee warned Ji-soo if Ha-bin knew her mother thought she got her friend smoked, she would be very upset. Those words were a threatening to Ha-bin's mother. To keep her daughter from getting hurt. She wasn't courageous enough to tell Ha-bin about her suspicion. Feeling regretful, Ji-soo made a wrong decision. It's a pity that Ji-soo had thrown away all the CCTV footages she collected. The evidences of Sung-hee's appearance at the scene was destroyed. Ha-bin is very angry at her father's attitude. As for her, the first thing to do is to revenge for her mother, not to catch Sung-hee. She blames her father for the reason why her mother doubted her. It's also the indirect cause of her death. If he feels guilty even a little bit, he should choose to revenge. At the same time, the police finds the cash which Sung-hee hid in a motel. That's Young Min's money. However, she still pleads not guilty when being questioned. She only admits to take the cash without harming Young Min. The police is about to use her son to make her admit her crime. Yet, Ha-bin already took him away. Tae-soo knows Ha-bin is going to revenge. Indeed, after taking Do-yoon away, Ha-bin grabs the chance when the police She returns to the police station with a knife to stab Sung-hee. Tae-soo appears at that time. He tries to stop her by holding the blade with his bare hand and begging her not to act stupid. Tae-soo has never abandoned her. Back then, he didn't dare to face his doubts, so that he let her stay with his ex-wife. Now, he's asking her whether she caused her brother's death with a soft voice. She bursts out crying by his question. He finally asks her after all those years. Ha-bin speaks in tears that she didn't push him off the cliff. Tae-soo totally trusts her. He keeps saying sorry. Thanks to the only one who believes in her, she decides to stop her revenge. Dae-hong finds Do-yoon in a park. He's completely safe. Ha-bin didn't intend to hurt the boy. Tae-soo continues interrogating Sung-hee. She still finds a way to shift the blame on Ha-bin. Tae-soo shows her a footage, which proved that Ha-bin arrived at the scene after Soo-hyun was gone. Ha-bin isn't the culprit for sure. The video was restored in Young-min's phone. It's Sung-hee who filmed it with Young-min's phone. As she is going to be discovered, she immediately blames Young-min. Tae-soo then proved Sung-hee was the first one at the scene with the footage. Therefore, the person who harmed Soo-hyun and filmed it is Sung-hee. Ha-bin found it at her home. Turns out her mother didn't destroy all the footage. Aside, Sung-hee's son also tells Dae-hong his mother poisoned the tenants. In the end, Sung-hee's crime is proved. The truth's unveiled. Ha-bin isn't unhappy. She's afraid that she'll be the same as Sung-hee, who used her family to reach her goal. Tae-soo assures she won't be the same type as Sung-hee. He's willing to wait for her to get out of the dark and find herself. After that, he resigns and returns home. He decides to be a good father. On Ha-bin's next birthday, Tae-soo buys her a cake and a watch. The scenery outside of the window is peaceful and beautiful. It's like the relationship between them, which is better and better. The end. That's all for today. Like and subscribe for more dramas. See you next time. Good day.